Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we have Jake with us. So we will talk about the software career market in the US. So let's get started. Okay. So, Jacob, would you like to share with us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Jake Portaro. I am a software engineer. I work in many languages: Angular, React, AWS, Node, a lot of different technologies. But yeah, I love software. Love the way that it makes the world work. Love the way that it helps the world, communities, healthcare, very important things. And I love to be a part of the advancement of technology and kind of helping the world out. So yeah, that's my goal in the next upcoming years of my career. And I think it's definitely the future for sure.
What skills are the most in demand now?
Sure. So a lot of companies are looking for and growing towards AI, artificial
Mhm.
intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence is one. Number two is cloud computing. The biggest cloud computing platform out there is AWS, Amazon Web Services. I recently got certified in Amazon Web Services. It does a lot of things of load balancing, creating their own servers that you don't have to, databases, so many different, I think they have over 100 different software,
Mm.
technologies and platforms that they offer that can just help companies in an exponential way. Um, and then cybersecurity is also another one. I've heard of tons of cyber attacks, costing companies millions and millions of dollars. So cybersecurity is definitely important. I don't personally work in cybersecurity. I would be interested in doing it. But yeah, I would say the top three are definitely AI, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. In terms of actually languages, though, I would say I see a lot of Angular and React. I see a lot of C Sharp and Java, and then I see a lot of Node as well. So yeah, in terms of languages, those are probably the most common that I see.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you. So let's talk about career opportunities. So, what types of jobs are available for software professionals, and what industries are hiring the most?
Yeah. So there are a ton of companies and industries that are hiring, right? I mean, it could be anything. It could be tech, it could be finance, it could be healthcare, e-commerce. Companies are always hiring for software engineers. If you have anything technology related, you're going to need some type of software engineer. And that's why I said in the beginning, I love being a software engineer, because without a software engineer, you're not going to have a business, right? I mean, businesses need technology to thrive, right? And so, again, it could be in any industry. There are software engineers, there's data scientists, cybersecurity experts, DevOps engineers. So, yeah, I would say like the tech industry is continuing to hire those types of people, and they're in demand. So I would say it doesn't really matter what industry. I would say they're all hiring and they all need software engineers. And we can be those people that bring them what they want.
Okay, it's good to know that there are many options. So, just curious, and would like to know. So, which one do you prefer?
Um, I would probably prefer the tech industry, just because, we are software engineers. We love building tech. And it kind of stays within that realm of, hey, we're building software and we are software. So I like the tech industry, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, teach their own.
Okay, interesting. Okay, for tech industry. So, I think also very related. We will discuss about remote work and flexibility.
Mhm.
So, like, how has remote work changed job opportunities and hiring in the software industry? In your point
Yeah.
of view?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think a big thing was COVID for sure. When COVID hit, everybody had to go remote, right? And it wasn't just
Mm.
software engineers, it was everybody. But going remote had given people this idea of, hey, like, we don't need all this office space and we don't need all these, you know, all this hardware to buy people, especially software engineers, when they have all this at home. So I would say the rise of remote work has expanded job opportunities exponentially, and it's allowed companies to not only recruit in a certain area, but recruit all across the globe. Right? I mean, I have applied to jobs that are thousands of miles away from me,
Mm,
and it's remote. So that means I can do them, right? So I think the remote process and the remote work is great. I think it's an awesome idea. It has absolutely led to like an increase of flexible work hours, and using collaboration tools like this too, whether it's Zoom, whether it's something like this, whether it's Google Meet, Teams, has also involved a lot of other collaboration software. So I think it's just a win in general. And I think that remote work is still on the rise. I still think that so a lot of companies do need to adapt to remote work. I think it just makes sense economically. It makes sense. Workers are happier at home when they work from home, right? I mean, I know some people like going in the office, but a lot of people choose to work at home, including myself. So I think remote work is great all around, to be honest.
okay, agree. Seems like remote work seems to be very important now, and people
Yes.
prefer working like remote, maybe work from home. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's move to like the entry level advice because you
Mhm.
already have experience. So let's talk about people like the newcomer for the industry. So could you share with me like what advice would you give to someone starting a software career, and what should they focus on in their education and experience?
Yeah. So I can kind of attest to this personally. I took a different route to software. I had always been interested in computers and just software technology and platforms, anyways. But I actually went to college for business. So I got my degree in finance,
Mhm.
and then I got my master's of business administration, my MBA. Um, and I didn't realize till after I got that I actually wanted to work in software. So I actually went to boot camp. And my boot camp gave me enough knowledge to apply for jobs, actually attest to what I'm talking about and know what I'm talking about, and land my first software job. And so it was a really cool experience to just go to college for one thing, and then say, hey, I don't think this is actually what
Mm,
I want to do. I find this boot camp, and it completely changed my career, right? And that was just a decision I made in less than a year, right? So the boot camp took me about 10 months. Took me about 6 months to find my first job. So it was about a year and a half for the full switch. But really, in the grand scheme of your whole career, that's not that much time, right? And so, some advice I would give to people just getting into the career, early developers, is just really know what you want, right? If this isn't what you want to do, it's not too late to do something else, and vice versa. If you're in business or you're in whatever else and you want to do software, it's not too late. The transition time is not that hard. And really focus on the principles and the foundations. I can't say that enough. As long as you understand the principles and the foundations of software engineering and computer science, you're going to be fine. You don't need to know syntax of,
no.
hey, what character goes after this letter, or how do I format this function. You're always going to have to look that up. I mean, you're going to learn some things and you're going to memorize some things, but nobody you meet, not even the best software engineers in the world, will know all the syntax to code. They're going to have to look stuff up. So the main thing is just getting those foundations right and getting that knowledge of how things work. And then when you actually need to code, that stuff you can research and look up and build upon in that time. So I would say learn the foundations for entry level advice for sure.
Thank you, Jake. I think that's really like helpful advice for young people these days.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
believe it's also like quite familiar in the US for people join the boot camp, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I would say, because the only other alternative is going back to
Mm,
school, and school is expensive, right? I mean, unless you can find a very cheap, you know, inexpensive college that you can get a degree from, sure, that's great, but also make sure you're learning the right things too, because I had to have the knowledge to actually attest to what I learned in these job interviews that I took.
yeah, do agree. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is my last questions about the career growth and development. Jake, how can software professionals grow and advance their careers today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say for sure, be on the lookout for new trends, right? Always stay learning, whether it's a new language, whether you're building a project on your own, or whether you're just networking. I would say networking itself is a learning experience, right? You realize who you're contacting, you realize how to talk to them, you realize, who to talk to and who's the right person that I should be talking to, and just be constantly involved with where you want to go, right? So seek mentorship, attend conferences if that's if that's your type of thing, courses or boot camps, certifications. Like I said, I just got AWS certified because this is what I want to do, right? And so constantly be integrating your career and your passions into where you want to go. And yeah, I would say like constantly be trying to learn, whatever is trending or whatever you want to get into, for sure. Just never stop learning.
Okay, so understand like continuous learning is very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Jake. Thank for your insight. It was great talking to you. Thank you, our viewers as well. And we hope that you found this discussion helpful. Goodbye for now.
Yes. Thanks, Dat.